I am so sorry for that weird intro that you guys had to see. I apologize. We were not on the right screen, so we had technical difficulties this morning, but welcome everyone to Stampin' Chat Live. I will be... No way I'm leaving that on there. That was horrific. But welcome everybody. It is so great to see all of you here. I am Gina from Gina K Designs, and today we are going to have a really fun video because I am going to do a project that was inspired by Jennifer McGuire's live video that she did yesterday. So Jennifer went live yesterday and she shared a bunch of different Gina K Designs stamp sets, and she showed you a technique for masking off line art images. And for those of us who don't always have time to color full-blown images, this is a really great technique. This is a way to get a lot of color in your card without actually having to color the image itself. So she shared a couple different ways, a couple different card samples using the technique, and I thought I would share one or two today as well. But before we get started, are you ready, Tom? Do you have a screen where you can be in the scene too? Hey, everybody! So what happened was we actually started the live and the live didn't go through, so we had to back out and turn it back on. And if we turn the system back on but we don't turn the cameras on the right way, the cameras get all messed up. So that's what happened, and that's why it was just me like in the beginning instead of our normal screen. So, hey Tom, how are you?
I am better than horrible, but
not much though, huh?
glitch day here in the studio.
Is Mercury in retrograde again?
I don't know. Mercury, I don't know. Hi everybody, welcome to Crafternoon.
Yeah, we're going to have fun today. We're going to be using Masking Magic, and we're going to be using some line art stamps. So, do we have cameras? Do we have overhead and stuff?
We'll see.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't we get into it and give Tom time to work on the buttons. But Tom, do you have a word of the day later?
I have a third of the day.
A third?
That's a 3 for word of the day.
Oh, like a triple crown.
Triple.
How exciting.
Triple. Yeah.
All right, well, we'll be excited for that.
A triple, we'll see.
That's gonna come in right at the nick of time. I know it. That's great.
Okay.
All right. Well, we are going to be using this today. This is Masking Magic sheets. Now, if you don't have Masking Magic sheets, you could use Post-it notes for this, but it won't be quite as easy. And the reason why is because, number one, Masking Magic will totally tack down to your paper when you're doing masking techniques, and it's also a little bit see-through. And what's nice about that is when you stamp a line art image and you want to put the Masking Magic on top, the image very slightly shows through so that you can see if you have your Masking Magic centered over it. That's another thing I really like. Plus, the Masking Magic is reusable. My suggestion is, because it's not a porous paper, which is good because you don't want it to bleed through to your cardstock underneath, but because it's porous, the ink will sit on top. It will dry, but it tends to get reactivated if you use it, even the next day. So if you do that, I would just say, if you're going to keep it and use the same types of colors each time you use it. So if you're using lots of reds and oranges and yellows with it, maybe stay away from purples and greens because you're going to get a little bit of muddiness in there. But this is a great product if you haven't tried it yet. It comes in both sheets and in strips. And I'm going to be using both the strips and the sheets today to make my project. Then I thought I would pick a stamp set. I think Jennifer might have used this one yesterday, so I thought I would use it too. This is the Delicate Dahlias stamp set. So I thought I would use this one and this dahlia image, and then it's got all of these beautiful greetings in here that we can use. So when you do a technique like this, it's really good for using line art images. Here's another one I could use for this. This is called Beautiful Things. You want to make sure that you have the coordinating die set for whatever stamp set you're going to do, because you're going to be cutting a mask using the coordinating die. Now, if you want that mask to go right up against the edge of the image, then you're going to have to fussy cut, because dies leave a little bit of a white edge. So if you want it right up against the edge, you can stamp this onto your Masking Magic and then fussy cut right on the line. That's one way to do it. Or you can do it the easy way, the way Jennifer did it yesterday and the way I'm going to do it today. I have another technique that's very similar to this, where I used masking and then coloring and stamping on top of it on my channel from a couple of years ago. I'll link that video in the description on this video, so you can also watch that video. But you do get the little white edge around the outside. I actually like that because it creates a little separation from the color. So let's start with this one. We'll use this one here. This is the Delicate Dahlias. And then can I just do a shout out to Brianne Loveland? Hey Brianne, it is great to see you here. Brianne Loveland is not just our linking ninja, but she also is the inventor of the inkstand, which is going to get a workout today. So Brianne, you might as well link your inkstand right away to help our customer service team because they always get that question. People are looking on our website for the inkstand, but you actually want to go over to the inkstand shop and get your inkstands.
Marilyn wants to know, what is a linear image?
A line art image? So a line art image
You said, I think, linear.
I said linear?
I don't know.
I think she means line art.
Okay.
Line art images are images like this that are just the outside lines where there's no solid stamp in the center, right? So it's just the outline. And then you stamp it, and then you go ahead and color it in either with coloring stencils or with Copic markers, watercolors, whatever. Now, let me just grab a stamp set here. I'll just use this example here. These stamp sets right here are not line art images. These are silhouette images. These stamps cannot be colored in. Here's another one. These stamps, you're going to stamp those in either black, or you could stamp them in a color. You would stamp this in green. These are what we call silhouette images that don't require coloring. So that is the big difference. And this technique works, well, it'll work with silhouette images too. But the idea is this is a technique that you can do with your beautiful line art images that doesn't require coloring. And it's something different than just simple embossing too. If you fussy cut with the masking magic, should we heat set it to prevent smearing? If you fussy cut on the masking magic, should we heat? No, you don't have to, no. You could fussy cut and that doesn't affect anything. If you stamp on it, I wouldn't heat set it because it's sticky on the back and that might make it like stick to your paper. It might make it stick to whatever you have it laying on. I would just wipe it with a paper towel. It's going to stain. It's going to have the images on there. All I'm saying is that there's always the possibility that your ink will reactivate the ink that's under there because it's not porous paper. So even heat setting it wouldn't make a difference because it's not porous. So it's still sitting on the top. It's a little bit shiny on the top. So I think that's what you mean by that. So if I didn't get that right, go ahead and ask it in a different way. I'm happy to try to answer it again. All right, so I'm going to get some masking magic sheets out of here. And we are going to die cut this delicate dahlia die. So I don't have to worry. I don't have to stamp it first or anything. I just have to go ahead and cut it out, which I'm going to do here.
So I think she said, I meant after stamping before fussy cutting.
Oh, no, it doesn't move around like that. Like once it dries, it's not going to get all over you. But when you hit it with something wet, like ink, that could reactivate it. I see what you mean. That makes sense. This is a good question. Okay, so now here we go. We've got that little image there. And now what we're going to do, I'm going to put this aside. I'll tell you, I clean the top of my desk. In 5 minutes, I'm going to have everything everywhere. Please tell me you guys are like that like you sit down in a clean spot on your desk and you're like, oh, I'm going to put things away. I'm going to keep it nice and neat. And in 5 minutes, everything is a living disaster.
Paulette said she's in the process of cleaning her craft room. She'll see us in a couple of years.
That sounds like me. That sounds like me. Okay, now what I want to do though for this particular technique I'm going to do is I'm going to die cut my cardstock first. So I'm going to use a quarter sheet and then I'm going to die cut it with Master Layouts 1, which I have over here in my pile of mess. I did get everything that I thought I would need today, which is actually a step more than I usually do. Usually I have no idea what I'm going to make. Usually I am not prepared. And for those of you that watch me regularly, you know that's true. But today I had to get a few things prepared because I had to see what stamp sets and things that I would have that would work with this technique. Okay. So I'm going to cut this with Master Layouts 2, and this is the stitched rectangle from Master Layouts 2. And while I have this die cutting machine out, I'm going to go ahead and cut out the black layer as well. Because you know I can't make a card without a black layer. So this one has the little stitching, which you can see around the perimeter there. Then I do have a piece of black cardstock. Let me just quick cut it over here. Oh, and you know what? Somebody had asked, and if you're the somebody who asked, because I didn't catch the person's name, but our customer service department told me that somebody had asked how to get the this part of the paper cutter back in after you clean underneath. So I'm going to show you that because that is, I promised I would show, and hopefully the person that had called and asked will be able to see that. Okay. I saw Jennifer like the black layer yesterday. That is different for her. Thank you for whoever suggested that. That was cool to see her give it a try. And I think it does make a difference, especially when the stamping is in black, because it pulls all of the black from the stamping. It draws your eye to it. Okay, so I'm going to put these dies away for now. I'll probably get them out again. And let me just show you that paper cutter thing. So for those of you that get sticky stuff here on your paper cutter, if you, underneath here, I don't know if you can see it, but underneath here, there is a little plastic tab. And can you see, if I go on the side there, can you see it's got like a little hook on it? And if you press the hook back, if you press it, like you pull it toward you, this will pop out. Okay, and then you can clean this with rubbing alcohol and get all the sticky off. You can clean here with rubbing alcohol and get all the sticky off. Sometimes we get sticky there because we have a little sticky on the back and then we want to trim a little bit more off and it starts getting a little bit gunky. So you can clean that. But then to put this back, you're going to slip this part, and you can see that has like a little hook there. So you're going to send that down into that. And then here, for this part right here, you actually have to push these two little pegs inward. And once you push them in, then it snaps right in place. So for anybody that was wondering how I got it in, because I pop it out really quick, and I put it in really fast, and somebody popped theirs out, and they were like, oh my gosh, I can't get it back in, and I'm afraid I'm going to break it. But once you push those two little things in, you can pop it back in and keep it nice and clean under there. It also allows you, be very careful, but it allows you to clean close to the blade and get all the gunk off. Okay, but always be careful. I would wear big work gloves if I was going to do that. All right, now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp onto this piece of cardstock. What is on the back here? Did my Misti break? My Misti broke. What's going on? My Misti broke. Oh, well, time for a new Misti, Tom.
Am I running?
No. I don't think I have another one here, though. But it did. My Misti actually broke. The hinge broke on the Misti. Has anybody ever had that happen before? I'll have to get a new Misti. So, yee. That's not good. We'll make it work, though. Okay. So, you might have to get a new one, but we'll see. So, I'm going to put this right in the middle here, like this. All right, and then I'm going to stamp it. I really just need to stamp it. I don't know if that's gonna move. I don't think, no, it actually broke off. See, it broke. The plastic is broken right here. It's not the pin. The pin is still in it. I see the pin. It's all right. I have like 90 Mistis in our classroom kit that I take with me when I teach at places like Create and all of that. So I probably should have moved this down a little bit more on the cardstock, but the Misti thing threw me. So this is going to be as good as it gets. All right, now if I wanted to stamp that a second time, I'm going to try, because I want it a little bit darker, but I don't know if it's going to stamp in the same exact place.
Yeah, that hinge is going to throw it off.
You think? We'll see. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm not going to mess with it too much, but that is an issue. That's an issue. I've heard that some people have broken their hinges before. Time to get one out of our classroom supply. No, it's fine. I'll make this work for today. Poor Tom. Am I running? No, it's all right. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my sticky mat, and I'm going to put this onto my sticky mat, and then I'm going to use first this piece, and I'm going to apply that right on top of this image. So there is on Masking Magic a split down the center of the Masking Magic, which makes it easy to peel the paper off. But sometimes, depending on where you cut on the Masking Magic, you won't have that split on there if like you're just using a tiny corner. So just take your time and do your best. Okay, so I am going to place this on top. Now I can kind of see through it. And I think I can see through it even better in my own craft room because of the way the lights are. But I want you to see here, once you get this down, can you see how you can see the image through it? So you can kind of look at it, and if it doesn't look centered enough to you, you can always peel it back up because it'll peel right up. And then you can reposition it. And then once you peel it off, if it's not too wet and it doesn't tear, you can save it. Now, what Jennifer said that she did was she sticks them to a cabinet or something like that. Some people stick their extra pieces right to the packaging of the Masking Magic. Other people stick their masks that coordinate with the stamp set onto the packaging of their stamp set. So that's another thing that you can do. I put everything in one pocket. I have the polyglaze sheets, I have the die set, I have the coloring stencils, I have the, let's see, polyglaze, coloring stencils, die set, and stamp set all in one pocket. So when I'm done, I could just stick it right to the back here. All right, now this is where Jennifer started doing like some masking off, and she did kind of an angled thing, but I'm going to try something a little bit different with mine. So I'm going to use some of these 1/4 inch Masking Magic strips, and I'm going to put these 1/4 inch strips all around the perimeter to create a little bit of a border here. All right. So let's do that. I'm going all around the perimeter. Okay. And here's a shorter one, so I'll use that one. Masking Magic strips are also really good for holding your die cuts down, your dies down when you're die cutting. And the reason why I like that so much is because sometimes the pressure that the die cutting machine puts on your tape that you're taping your die down with is so much that it'll tear your paper when you try to peel it off, but Masking Magic doesn't tear. I mean, I guess it can if you're really vigorous, but for the most part it does not. Okay, now I'm going to do something else with Masking Magic. I am going to get some 1/8 of an inch strips. Now these are the skinniest, tiniest strips. Can you see how skinny they are? If you don't have Masking Magic for this, like you just have the sheets, you can actually just cut them to 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 inch strips. Or if you've got washi tape, sometimes washi tape comes real thin like this, you could like tap it off on your clothes first, on your shirt, on your jeans, to get it to be a little less sticky. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create some segments going across. All right. Oh, and by the way, I texted Jennifer this morning and I said, hey, I'm going to do an Inspired by You video today. And she was like, are you serious? And I said, yeah, I'm serious. And she's like, I can't be there. And I'm like, don't worry about it, because today she is actually on her way to Simon Says Stamp because they have a class that they're doing tomorrow and they're doing their trial run today. So, and I know what that's like because I did a class in, I think it was in November with Heidi, and I was out there and we did a trial run the day before as well. So she's busy today, but I'm sure she would be here if she could. Okay, so there we go. Now you see what I did? I just did these lines kind of in a zigzag pattern going down, so I have 5 different segments here. Okay, so now I'm going to get my trusty ink stand and I'm going to pick a color. So I want to make sure that's really tacked down so we don't mess it up. And you're also going to want to have some Post-it notes. So I have some bigger ones here that will fit the length of this. So I'm just going to use a Post-it note. So I'm going to block off everything below this piece of Masking Magic, and I just put that right up against the Masking Magic. And I'm going to pick a color. So let's do a turquoise color. Let's do turquoise C. We'll start with turquoise C. Now, instead of just doing color on here, I'm going to choose a stencil. So I have all kinds of stencils that would work well for this. These are all different patterns that would be fun for this. And I think the one that I'm going to start with is Fizzy, and that's that polka dot pattern. So it's just got all dots. It's called Fizzy. So I'm going to put Fizzy on here. And then I'm going to ink up my blending brush. Now, if you're uncomfortable with your stencil possibly moving around, if you have a brand new sticky mat, it's probably not going to move around. But if your sticky mat has seen better days like mine has, you could use a little bit of pixie tape on there just to hold it down so it doesn't move. All right, so I'm going to start by adding some turquoise C fizzy dots. Okay, so now I'm going to remove this stencil, but here's the important part. Just because I've got a pattern there, that's not going to be enough for the look that I'm going for. So now you're going to take that same brush, but you're not going to re-ink it, and you're going to go back over that same area, blending in more turquoise C. Because you want to completely get rid of all the white. And you want to get rid of the white because if you don't, you're not going to see any separation between this segment and the border or this segment and the flower. We want those white areas that we're masking off to really pop. Okay, so now I've done the first one. We want to be careful not to lift our masking paper. Now I'm going to use this same Post-it note, and now I'm going to block off the top. Okay. And I want to block off down here because now I'm going to be working with another segment, and I don't want my ink or my stencil design to get anywhere else. So now for my next color, I'm going to use a green. I'm going to use some jelly bean green just because it happened to be sitting here in front of me. Let me find a brush. My brushes are a mess. Everything's a mess. Here's a green brush. Okay, now I'm going to pick a completely different stencil. So I'm not just going to have a different color, but I'm also going to have a different design. So for this one, I'm going to use, I saw a leaf one in here somewhere. Here we go. I'm going to use the thick brush pattern. Oh, thank you. My top. It's from Kohl's. I always grab them when they have those sales. I get all the colors just because it's kind of nice to have a bunch of different colors in your collection, right? For all the crazy pictures I'm doing now on my my thumbnails, I have to have all the colors. Okay, so now I'm going to pull that off, but remember, just like I said, we've got to take whatever's left on that brush and we've got to fill that color in. And when you're going around this, because this flower mask, you'll see there's little holes cut into that mask that kind of separate the flowers out. Make sure you get color in there too. So, you know, if you have to go like in one direction and then go in the opposite direction when you're ink blending to really get the color all in the spots so there's no white edges. Okay, so there's our second color. Get that back down. Okay. All right, so now we've got that design. You know, it kind of looks like a hot mess, but it's gonna look good. So now we're going to put this back. Now you could go all the way down. You could do rainbows. You could do all different colors, all different stencils, or you can just alternate back and forth between that green and that blue. And I think for this one, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep it just a little bit simple, and I'm just going to alternate between the green and the blue, just for my first one here. Okay. So we're getting all our dots in there first because we need our design. Then we're going to take the stencil off, and whatever's left on that brush, we're going to add to the rest of the background. Now, if you feel like you don't have enough color on the brush, you can always just, you know, dab a little bit more color on there. But I know it doesn't look like much, but next to the white, it's going to be fairly drastic. You will see the difference. All right. He wants to pull that leaf off. Ooh.
Have you ever tried to use every single color you have in a single card?
No. That card would have to be way bigger than a 5x7. We have so many colors. What do we have, like 65 or 60? We have a lot of colors. I don't think it would work.
Sounds like a shard card.
It sounds like, I was just going to say, Tom, that sounds like a shard card, something that would be perfect for the Tom K video. Not the Gina K video, the Tom K video. All right, now we're going to go back to the thick brush stencil again. And again, I'm holding that down. I've got both areas masked off, top and bottom. And this really puts a lot of just really interesting texture into the background. And if you don't like this, if it's too busy for you, you certainly will be able to do it more like Jennifer did with just the plain color. But it's always fun to have more than one way to do a technique. Alrighty. Okay. And I think that's going to look pretty good. And then we'll do our very last one. I'm not going to pull this one up just because I don't need to worry about the bottom, and I don't want to pull up any more of that mask. Okay, and so now we're going to do our final one again with the fizzy and the turquoise sea. Welcome everybody, it's great to see all of you. Okay, so we'll do this one, same way. And with these like really tiny dots, you kind of have to do that wax on kind of in one direction and then wax off in the other direction to really fill in all those little circles.
Roxanne wants to know what a shard card is. That's a card that I made. Was it back in the fall?
It was when we had our 200,000 subscriber party. And so that's what the thumbnail of that video is. If you want to watch it, it was our 200,000 subscribers, and we had a party, and Tom made a card, and he did a technique that he called shards.
Yes, the
shard card.
Fruit salad was being passed around, and somehow I ended up making a card.
Yes, he did. And it was a good card. It was really interesting. And he challenged everybody to make cards, and our Facebook group had an unbelievable variety of shard cards. It was really fun.
And a shard is just like a geometric piece of cardstock.
Yeah,
and
it's kind of like Tom was making use of all the scraps and just cutting little shards of... Right?
That's it. Shard card.
The shard card. So I'm just going to clean these stencils real quick with just a little alcohol. Looks like some of these will never be able to be cleaned again, but that's okay. That means they're well loved. Okay, now we're going to do the fun part. And Brianne Loveland will not let me get a knife. I'm not allowed to get a knife, right, Brianne? She doesn't like the knives. So I'm going to use my tweezers if I need to, but I might not even need to. So we're going to first pull these off for our little segments. And you can save these too. For example, let's say this was your stamp pocket. You could just save them like this. Just put them right on here. And then if you want to do this card again, you've got masking magic strips. Are they going to last forever? No. It is a consumable product. But you could make 2 cards or maybe 3 cards out of them before you actually have to abandon them. All right. I don't really know if I need to save them, but okay, here we go. So now we're going to take the perimeter off. Okay, I'm not gonna save these. I like to think I'm frugal, but there comes a point where I feel like that might be too distracting to me. Okay. Alrighty, so now we've got this cool background design, and now we're going to peel up our flower mask.
Whoa.
Isn't that fun? Oh, I love that. That's so fun. And what's really nice about this is it's a flat card, so it's easy to mail. And that just makes it fun. And you don't need to add anything else to this card except a greeting. So I think that is super fun. And see how crisp all the edges are because of the masking? And I know it looked like such a hot mess when we were making it, but now it just looks fun and interesting. Okay, so let's turn this into a little card. And then we'll try something else. Okay, so I did cut this black panel here. And I'm going to mount this onto the black. It's real graphic and geometric, and it's very colorful this way. So, you might have these beautiful line art images that you think, oh, I'm just not in the mood to color, but I really want to have a pretty floral card. You have a pretty floral card there. You could color it if you want, but it's not necessary because it's already got so much beautiful color. It's like, why bother, right? I actually think the color might take away from it a little bit when you've got this much going on in the background. So I'm going to cut a quick card base here, just 4 1/4 by 11, so I can make it a tent fold. And I'm going to use white because, again, I don't want to take away from all the beautiful color that's in this design.
White space in a card is kind of like green space in real estate.
It is. You kind of need that little rest, right? You need to rest your eyes a little on the white space. And my friend Kathy Zilski, she does fantastic clean and simple cards, lots of white space in her cards. She knows exactly where to put the white space. Mindy Egan is really good with white space too. I try to be good with white space, but, sometimes I get a little color heavy. I love color, but I also agree with you, Tom. That is a really great way to describe it, because when you're in a big city and all you see is concrete, you see a little bit of grass or trees, it's what makes Central Park so perfect for New York. Okay, so now we're going to pick a greeting and we're going to add a greeting on here. And I think something small would work. what I like to do is I like to just see what might work. Warm wishes. I think this little hello. I think right there by the flower, right in here with that little hello would be perfect. So why don't we stamp that one and die cut it? And then we'll decide if we need any embellishments, because if we put embellishments on here, I'd put black for sure. I feel like that would pull a little bit more black into the mix, and we could just lay some on there and see how we like it. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and stamp this hello greeting. We could do, you know, we could do, hello, I know this door is just going to completely fall off in just a second. Any second. All right, let's do hello, and let's add sweet friend, because what's nice about this Delicate Dahlia stamp and die collection is it's got dies that cut out everything, including the strip sentiments. So it'll cut out this sweet friend as well. Let's do hello, sweet friend. But, wow. This Misti's kind of cracking me up. It's like an old car, you know, where like... Do you remember the car, Tom, that your friend in the band had? Tell them about that car. With the floor.
Oh, when we were kids, yeah, we were riding to a rehearsal. And we were up on the highway, 95 in Philadelphia. And something, you could start to smell something burning. And he said, there's smoke coming from at my feet. And he pushed down and the floorboard fell out. And we saw the ground just going by.
Just the highway going by on I-95. Oh my gosh. Oh. It's so funny because when you're kids, you're like, that's a great story that I'm going to have to tell someday. You know, you're almost glad that it happened, so you have this great story. As a full-grown adult, I would be absolutely horrified and terrified. But yeah, it was like a Flintstone car, exactly. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Did he ever fix it, or did you just always have the road?
No, I think they fixed it, yeah.
Okay.
They kept cars running a long time back then, no matter what, fell off.
That's what they do with people now. They keep us going a long time, no matter what falls off. Okay, so I have the Hello Sweet Friend cutout, and let's go ahead and pop those up. I can still use the rest of that. I just keep bringing my die cut in and out, but you know, I feel better when I just do it in order. Okay, so we'll put the hello right there. Sweet friend. All right, I have one more thing I want to look at because I want your opinion, guys. So I have these sentiment sheets, and I feel like a strip sentiment, if I can find, oh, I think I gave my strip sentiments to Shelly. You know, I knew that would happen. I would give them off to Shelly because she's organizing for me, and then I wouldn't have the die that I need. All right, we're going to go with this. We're going to go with this. But I have these strip sentiment sheets that maybe just the hello, because I think that the sweet friend gets lost. You can't really see it because there's a lot of white going on there. So we'll just pop it up with some foam squares. I've got some right here. Just might be a little too busy otherwise. I mean, we could always put it down here, but I feel like, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you like it down there? let's do a quick poll. We're going to do a poll. I'm so bad at polls when I do them. Last time I was like, so should we put it at the top or bottom? And then the poll said, should we put this at the top or bottom? And then the two choices were yes or no. Top or bottom for the greeting. Let's see what you guys like better. And we'll look at it again while you guys are deciding. Top, bottom. Okay, here we go. That poll's going to pop up there. So here's the way it looks with it at the bottom. And then here's the way it looks if we kind of tuck it into the flowers. So that would be the top position. So let's see. Oh, people are liking it on the bottom. Yeah, I want to see. The bottom. The bottom's winning, Tom. I didn't expect that. It is kind of a nice little spot right there because it kind of sinks down. All right, well, we'll let that poll run for just another couple minutes. Oh, the bottom is definitely winning. All right, so you guys like it at the bottom. You know what? I do too, now that we think about it, because I didn't really have this flower centered from top to bottom, so it does sit a little bit high. So having it at the bottom does actually look better. Yeah, I agree with you. All right, we'll end that poll because it's 58% want the bottom and 59% want the bottom, 41 wanted the top. So the bottom wins.
Good car stories coming in too.
Car stories?
Car stories.
Oh,
this
gosh.
from T for 263 said, so funny, Tom, I played softball and there was an umpire that on his passenger side, the floorboard was missing and he threw his trash out there. See, there was like utility in every situation. You would find a way to use something.
You just see trash flying out of the bottom of a car. That's so funny.
Yeah, and he said, you know, he was like surprised when the floorboard fell out on the highway, but then he thought, I could use this.
Yeah, I'll make use of that.
Saw all this trash sitting around and put it together.
That's awesome. All right, so we're going to pop that right down there at the bottom. Looks good right there. Let's get it straight. Okay. And then let's just take a look what a couple of these little black embellishments would look like. So I'll get my pick and stick tool and we'll just put a couple little black pearls in there. So tell me what you think. If we just added a few black pearls, kind of in a triangle. You like that? You think that those little pops of black are good? We could actually put one all the way at the top and one down near the greeting too. I kind of like the dots because of the dotted, and I kind of like them on the white parts. Just get it into the white parts and then maybe one down here because I like the odd numbers. I'm not a big even number sequin fan or embellishment fan. I didn't like that one. Oh my goodness. Turning a pearl over is like trying to get a turtle to stay on its back. All right, we could put like one like over here or one down here. You like the black? Yeah, okay, people are liking the dots. Okay, so let's add those. I feel like it just kind of accents all around and it brings a little bit of that black into the center of the card, other than the greeting. So let's see if I can get my Connect glue here. Okay. One of them was clogged. I gotta find the one that Tom might be running again. Oh my gosh. I've clogged every one of my glues. And my pin that I brought a pin, but it doesn't fit. And I have pins at home that fit. It could be that I have too much glue on this pin, though. That could be the reason. Okay, here we go. Let's see how that works. All right, here's what we'll do. We will just add some glue where we want it here, using the pin. And then I will soak my top in a little bit of hot water and then use the pin to just open that up again. Okay, that'll work. That'll work beautifully. You do what you gotta do in times of panic. All right, let's just put those back on those glue dots. We can always make it work.
Well, we've got a few requests for the word o' the day.
The Triple Crown. All right, and there we go. There's our card. So that's kind of a fun way to use that same technique that Jennifer did yesterday, but we stepped it up a little bit with the use of stencils and the use of Masking Magic strips. All right, Tom, go for it. Word of the day. I'll clean up and get ready for something else here.
Okay, let me just fix this screen first.
Okay, Tom's got to fix his screen. I don't have a word of the day. This is so pretty. I feel like I want to stamp on it with the black flower, but it's Masking Magic, so it's not going to dry enough, I don't think. You never know, though. Might have to try that and see if that technique would work.
All right, sing along. It's time for
Word of the day, oh hey, hooray! Let's laugh it up, don't delay. Word of the day, it's here to stay.
Okay, today's word of the day, words of the day, it's a threefer, are about married life. Something we know a little bit about, right, Gina?
Little bit.
Okay, and so the first one, I know this is going to be tough, but I just play along here. Sometimes
You want me to play along?
sometimes there's one thing or a little thing that your spouse does that just catches your attention and ticks you off a little bit. I know, now play along. I know it's tough to think of that, but can you imagine that?
No.
No? Oh, I knew it.
Yeah.
No imagination.
Yeah, I can imagine it.
Okay, so when that happens, when something catches your eye and it's like you're drawn to it, that is called a nagnet. A nagnet, something sitting eating dinner and something catches your attention. Okay, and so if you're not careful, that little thing can just build, and all this energy pours into it, and that's called the principle of nagnification, where it just grows and grows and threatens to ruin your day and turn into a big argument. Now, what happens is often is you come to your senses and you say, oh, well, this is marriage. This is part of living together, and it goes both ways. So there are things that, happen both ways in that. And so you laugh and you love and you smile and put on your aromatherapy and have a big cappuccino. And that's called being Nagnanimous. Right? Just another day in the life. Back to the dead space.
Yay! The word of the day. It's here to stay, guys. I hate to tell you, but it's here to stay. Okay, so I'm going to use this one now. This is the Beautiful Things, and I'm going to need probably 2 pieces of masking magic for this. Boy, that was a trifecta, Tom. It was
Yes.
quite a trifecta. And let's see here. Do I have enough space on here? I think I do, because I'm not going to need the whole thing. So I'm going to cut one of these out here. This is the coordinating die set. Again, this is the Beautiful Things stamp set. Stamp and die set. Oh, man. That was good. All right, so we have one here. Now, if you wanted to keep this, you could, because there are small flowers and leaves and things that we want to do masking techniques with, and you can always save this. So I'll save mine in the trash can. Just kidding. And then I'm going to get one more sheet of this. For a long time, I saved every single little scrap. Probably a lot of you guys did the same. And I'll tell you, just one day I went through and I'm like, if this is not at least big enough to stamp, you know, a decent size greeting, I'm getting rid of it. And I got rid of so many scraps, and honestly, it felt so good. It just felt good. So, but see, Tom would have made a card out of it, because that was his shard card. Those little bits and pieces. I should start keeping them again, Tom, if you want to do like a shard part 2.
Shard part 2.
Yeah. What do you think?
Oh my.
Okay. So now for this one, I'm going to use a full sheet of cardstock. A full, when I say a full sheet, I mean a full A2 panel for this. Okay. But I love a border. You guys know I love a border around my cards. It's very rare that you'll see me just do an A2 card. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start with an A2 panel, which is 5.5 by 4 1/4. But I'm going to masking magic myself a border, if that makes sense. We're going to create a masking magic border. So I am going to do it on this because I have to stamp on this, and it will actually be easier for me once I get my border on here. We can always pull the border up again if we need to anywhere. Okay, I think I'm going to do that. Yeah, I'll do that. So I want to do a 1/2 inch border all around. So I'm going to use the 1/2 inch masking magic strips. So this isn't going to have any black, which is going to be crazy for me, but it's all right. Sometimes you just have to go with it. So I need to turn it to get it right to the edge. So I'm using the 1/2 inch strips here. And then that should stick down pretty well because it's on that grip mat too. we'll see. We can always reposition the masking magic because it's pretty easy to do. Also, if you save these are the empty sheets once you use like the masking magic strips. That is also a really good place to put your these after you've made them. You know, if you want to put them somewhere, you can put them back on these, and that will preserve them, and it makes them really easy to peel off again. So I'll do that. Okay, then if you make them in a bunch of different colors, you can save them all. All right, so I'm going to come in from one side here, like this. Ooh, I wonder if I should use this one instead. I might have to cut another mask. Let's see. I think I might have to, because I'm going to do this like this. Okay, let's stamp that. Anybody else sweating the Misti with me? I'm just sweating it.
It's working though, isn't it?
It is working, yeah. I just feel like, you know, I don't want it to not work when I need it to work. This is a brand new stamp. I haven't used this stamp yet. So I'm going to have to stamp this more than once. That's where it makes me nervous.
This is Gina K's test kitchen, taking products to their limits.
Yeah. We'll see if your hinge breaks. It seems to like line up though perfectly. Okay, that looks pretty good. Yeah, it looks good. I think I might want to cut out another one of these smaller ones, because I feel like this stamp would be perfect coming in like right here at the top, just having a little bit more flower like coming in over here, but I don't know that I need that whole big thing, you know what I mean? And I know that's hanging off the edge of the Misti, but I'm not even worried about that. We'll see what happens. I know it's crazy, right? Let's just see what happens. I might have to move it over. Oh no, it's working. It's working. I'm just bending the stamp. Okay, that looks good. So we're going to leave it like that. Just taking our chances. If you're new to my channel, and some of you might be new here, I don't prepare a whole lot, and I try things, and if they don't work, I don't worry about it, because that's real life. And I want you guys to try stuff. I want you guys to experiment with what you have and not worry if it doesn't work out. Like, it's just a piece of paper, right? We don't have to worry too much if it doesn't work out. I think I can do all my ink blending on here, but I do have to cut out one more of the dies for that small flower. So let's do that. We'll just cut out a quick die. I do lose things a lot though. So if you're new, you'll notice that. And then I have this piece of masking magic, and I can get one more flower out of it. Welcome! Welcome to our newbies, and welcome to our repeat offenders. It is great to see all of you here today. We really appreciate it. We know it's hard to come on a weekday for some people who have to work, so we really appreciate when you sneak us in during your lunch hour or, you know, make time for us. It's so nice. Okay, so now I am going to get this, and we're going to mask these off. So this is one of those times where I really don't have a split anywhere. And if you don't have a split, what you can do is just bend the masking magic toward the back and take your nail and just roll your nail over it, and you'll see that it'll come apart really easily that way. Oh, I did have a split. Duh. Okay. I didn't have to do that, but that is one way to do it if you find yourself in that position. Okay. So let's get this down over the flower and the leaf. There we go, and we can see through it, so we can see that that looks pretty even all around. And then this big mama here. And, you know, it becomes a little crazy when these images are so big and you're trying to fight with them, but see how it's like not right down here. So I know it's wrong. I gotta lift it up. I gotta move it. But you might want to like get it right in one spot and then just kind of turn it into the rest. That looks pretty good. Okay. So yesterday during Jennifer's live, a lot of people were asking for purple, and she only had so much time, so she couldn't get a purple card in. So I think I'll try a purple today. So let's go with the lilacs. And I have the medium lilac. And we have a light lilac. So let's try the light lilac first. See what that looks like. I have no idea what's on this brush, so we can all be surprised together. And let's pick a stencil that we can use for this one. Now, we could do... Ooh, I just thought of something. Maybe we don't want to use a stencil. Maybe we want to use this sweater background stamp. Wouldn't that be pretty on there? That would be so pretty. Let's do the sweater background stamp. So let's go ahead and add some ink first. We'll add some of this lilac in here. We're going purple. Yeah, this is nice. This is very nice and soft, but I think it'll make a difference. It's so cool because you would not be able to do this without, you know, having that mask on top. It just, I mean, you could die cut it and sit it up, but it just looks different when it's masked off like this. Now, you know what I think would be really pretty? And I'm just winging it here, but I think it would be pretty in certain areas of this background to add just a tiny bit of turquoise. Just a little bit of turquoise in there. Let's get a little turquoise on this brush. We'll mix that light lilac with a little bit of turquoise. Now I know this is going to be a lot, so I'm just going to take a piece of cardstock and just get a little bit off of there, but like maybe even just going around the flower a little bit with the turquoise just to make it glow around the outside. And we're actually just like getting another version of purple. It's like purpley blue. Just around this flower here, and then the rest will be more purple.
Question, which pale pink and green would go well with the lilacs?
Pale pink and green? I think with the lilacs, the carnations, and the spruces. They really, all three of those really look nice together. I'm going to add a little medium lilac in here too, just because I'm wild like that. Just a little darker in certain areas. Just a little bit. Okay, I think that's going to look really pretty. Now, for this stamp, normally I do my stamps upside down, and I think I'm going to do it upside down because I don't do very well with the, let me just grab that and pull the whole thing up here. I don't do really well using the Misti with my background stamps. I struggle with that. I struggle getting a good impression. Now what I'm thinking is with this stamp, we'll just keep it on its back here. I'm thinking if we use a gray, like a soft stone, it's just going to put the texture in. We're not going to lose too much of the color. And I think we're going to just get a nice texture. So everybody's like, I'm excited to see how it comes out. Me too. I have no idea what's going to happen. All right, so we're going to try this now. I'm really inking this up. Sorry, I know this takes a while, but okay. But we really want to get a lot of ink on here. And I feel like when I do it upside down, I have a little bit better of a shot of getting it into the tight areas. Even though Masking Magic is pretty thin, it still could be a little persnickety. Okay, so we're going to just do that straight on there like that. And now I'm going to rub with my fingers pretty vigorously into all those areas to get a good transfer. And I think that'll probably do it. I really want to make sure I focus. I can see right through this paper a little bit in here, and I really want to get into the center between them. All right, let's hope for the best. Ready? I'm nervous. Look how pretty that is. Oh, I love it. And I feel like the gray doesn't take away from the purple or the blue. It just deepens them a little bit, right? It's just a little bit deeper. So, yeah, I think that's good. Probably did it upside down, but I don't care. I think it's still going to look okay. We'll go with it. We'll go with it. The whole idea was to try it, and so we tried it together, and next time I'll remember to not do it upside down. So let me just put this here for a second, and let me get rid of this background stamp. This is the close knit background stamp, Brianne, is that right? Close knit background stamp.
You should do a live called Stamping Through the Fear.
Yeah.
All risky
That's every live here.
Stamping
Are you
maneuvers.
kidding? Stamping through the fear. That's great, Tom. I like that idea, actually. Okay, so now we're all excited, right? We can't wait to take this off. Let's just take it off in one fell swoop. You ready? Oh, man, look at how pretty that is. Isn't that beautiful? Whew. Boy, that just really feels good on my brain to see that. That's really pretty. So now I know I don't have anything over here, and I don't mind that. I don't have anything over here. If you mind that, then you can always take a ruler and a pen if you want with a little bit of black, but I don't mind it. I like the way it looks. It's just coming in from nowhere, right? And I think that that's super cool. So we're going to go with it. Now I am once again going to put this on a white card base, but you know what I could do? Let me just hear me out here, because I love the fade of the color there. And I feel like this cadet blue would even be a pretty color with that. That would be pretty. But let's look at a couple other colors. I don't have any powder blue. I don't have any powder blue here. Let me just check in my stash over here, way over here, to see if I have one powder blue. I have a blue sky. Oh no, it's powder blue. No, it's blue sky. All right, here's blue sky. That's pretty. It's a little bright. I like that cadet. But let's try one more thing. What is this? Oh, is this powder? This is powder blue. Here we go. This is powder blue. There's powder blue. Now, what would you guys think if I took a small edge all the way around off and added that little pop of black? What do you think? Do you want to see like wisteria with it? Here's wild wisteria. There's wild wisteria. I like the blue. I think because the purple is toward the edge that I like the blue better. What do you like, Tom?
Is there kind of a pink hue in there somewhere?
You know, I think that,
Or is that
this medium lilac is a pinkier purple.
optical delusion?
So it is an optical delusion, yes. That's exactly what it is. All right, so should we do a poll? Let's do blue versus purple. Let's do that, okay? What card base do you prefer? Powder blue? And what's the other one? Powder blue?
Cadet?
Cadet. Oh, all right. We'll do cadet blue, and then we'll do wild wisteria. Okay. Oop, I should spell that right. That would be unfair. All right, let's go. Here we go. Here comes the poll. So, which card base do you prefer? Powder blue, cadet blue, or wild wisteria? And we can look at them one more time. Okay, so here's the powder blue. Here's the wild wisteria. And here is the cadet blue. Now, in real life, the cadet blue looks a little bit too, like, on the teal side for this. It does need the pop of black. Let's put the little pop of black up against it just so that you can see what that looks like, too. While everybody's doing the poll, do I really not have black? Tom, I don't even have black. What's going on? I must have a piece of black cardstock. Here's a piece. Okay. So, cadet. See, I feel like that cadet is just not in here anywhere. Cadet's nice, though. It's a pretty color. I just should have used cadet blue in the mix if I wanted to. Okay, cadet is out. I got a cadet is out. Here's wild wisteria. There's definitely some of that in there because when you mix the powder blue with that medium lilac, you get more of that purple, that bluish purple like wild wisteria. Yeah, I agree. Cadet doesn't work. Okay, but I feel like I had to see it with the black to really know that. So those of you that pick cadet, maybe you've changed your mind. And then there's the powder blue. Okay, so just looking at the poll here, powder blue is overwhelmingly successful. 66% of you chose the powder blue. So, all right, we're going with the powder blue. Now, you guys like the black, right? I wasn't going to use the black, but I feel like that pop of black really does make everything pop here. So I am going to pull the black in. And let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so we're just going to, since this is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, what we're going to do is we're going to take a, let's take a 1/4 inch off of each side. All right, this way we'll have a nice powder blue border. So we're going to take it down to 4 inches. And then we're going to take it down to 3 3/4 inch. And on this side, it's at 5 1/2, so we'll take it down to 5 1/4. And then we'll take it down to 5. And that would be the same as Master Layouts 1, for those of you that would prefer to just go ahead and cut it out and not have to deal with the paper cutter. Then we can cut a black panel to the right thing here. So that is 3 3/4 and then up to 7/8. So 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And that will give us our nice little black perimeter, which I do think with this particular style of card, it really needs the black more than you think. It really does. It makes the ink in the stamp itself pop out. So, is anybody having a hard time with the black or the powder blue, Tom? Or are we all pretty okay with it?
All pretty okay with it.
All right. Because I lay in bed at night. The day of that night of the live, thinking, I hope the people that liked cadet blue don't feel bad. That's who I am. That's what I do at night. I hope they're not upset that I didn't use the blue. All right, so I'm scoring this at 5.5 inches. But I do think the powder blue is the ticket here. But I'm just so jazzed about the way that sweater background looks. Don't you guys love that sweater background? Close knit.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll get these two panels together. End of the tape runner. Another tape runner. I bent it. Okay, we'll flatten it out with tape. You see this here, how these are all even, and then this is a little big. I'm going to trim that off, but that's the beauty of Master Layouts series, is that never happens. It always is perfect. Oh, this is the bangs that we always talk about, guys. Just a tiny bit more, just a tiny bit more. And then before you know it, they're way too short. It'll be fine. I'm leaving it like this. Okay, and then we need to put a greeting on here. Now, it would be nice if I had some strip sentiments, because a nice little black strip sentiment would probably really pop. But also, I do love these greetings from our Graceful Greetings set. And a congratulations going across would be nice. Happy anniversary, that would be nice. I don't think I have any strip sentiments laying around here at all. Oh, I do. Now, this could be a sympathy card with love and prayers. I must have, there we go. We could put that across the center here. Do you guys like that? Like right across the center? That would be a really, really nice sympathy card. We could also put it down here if you don't like it at the top. What do you like, Tom? Across the center or down near the bottom?
I like the bottom.
You like the bottom? Okay, yeah, I think that's a good sentiment. And we could actually tape this right down onto the card. We don't have to pop it up. And this would be the perfect, nice, flat card for mailing. But if you wanted to add some little black embellishments, we could do that too. With love and prayers. I'm not going all the way to the edge. I'm going to leave a little bit of that purple there. With love and prayers. Down at the bottom right. Yeah, we're on the same wavelength. And maybe, just maybe, a pearl or two. Like here. Maybe we'll just kind of go up around that flower a little bit. What do you think? Could also do one down here. Do a little triangle that way. That's kind of nice. I like that. I think that looks nice. I like the triangle. Somebody's like, no bling. We don't bling a sympathy card. No bling? Just a little bling. It's hard for me not to do bling. All right, I won't do any bling. We'll just leave this one plain. Okay, So there are 2 additional ideas to add to the wonderful ideas that Jennifer McGuire shared yesterday in her video. I'll zoom in here so you can see these a little more closely. I bling everything. I don't know, maybe it's inappropriate to bling on a sympathy card, but I bling everything. So these use the Masking Magic sheets like Jennifer did, but they also use Masking Magic strips and a little bit of some different background textures there. So just something a little bit different, another fun way that you can use that fun masking technique with line art stamps. And a big shout out to Jennifer McGuire for all of her fantastic ideas. If you haven't watched her video, I'll also link it in the description in the YouTube video. After I'm done the live, I'll go back and edit everything. And I'll find that other video where I did a similar technique with butterflies where you could see that. That's from a couple years ago. So, well, everybody, this was so much fun. We're going to give away a gift card. So if you're new here, in order to win a gift card, all you have to do is just leave a comment. And Tom is going to randomly pick one of our friends from the chat. But while you're doing that, again, we would love it if you don't mind, if you like the video, if you'd give it a thumbs up. And if you're new and you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe and hit all notifications so you never miss another video. And then if you're not part of our Facebook group, we'd love to have you over there. Our Facebook group is called Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. It's the one with 50,000 members. There's 3 questions you have to answer. That's to prove that you're a crafter and not a bot. And then we ask you to agree to our rules and then come on over and share your love of Gina K Designs products. And also, you can get lots of project inspiration from me, our designers, and other members in our group. Lots and lots of fun Gina K inspiration over there. And then another big shout out to Brianne Loveland. Thank you, Brianne, for always being here. You are our rock and help us so much. But if you missed any of Brianne's links, all you have to do is head over to our website at ginakdesigns.com and you can find everything that I used here in today's video. All right, Tom, are you ready to give away a gift card?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, drum roll. Here we go. Another winner. Today's winner is Trina Quick 6152. Trina Quick.
Yay, Trina! Congratulations. Trina, all you have to do is send your name and an email address to info@ginakdesigns.com and they will send you a $15 digital gift card that you can use whenever you want because they don't expire. Well, everybody, thank you so much for being with us today. We really enjoyed spending time with you. Tom and I will be back next Tuesday night with another Stamp and Chat Live. In the meantime, stay soon. Bye-bye.